by and gave you a tune just the other night. Woman, I took my time, made sure that I did it right.
Okay, folks, you should have noticed that I like to go way back and bring you music clips originally recorded in mono. That was Too Many Mechanics, a deliciously dirty blues by Donnie Ray. Our next group is not quite yet a national presence. The Brake Light Project started only a year ago in New Orleans, but is starting to show up all over the country. These pop-up repair clinics have been offered by chapters of Democratic Socialists of America. DSA has itself been on a growth surge since the 2016 presidential elections, and one of their direct outreach efforts has been these parking lot clinics. They are an effective and immediate benefit to their communities. So for this segment of the show, I found this brilliant project called the Brake Light Project, and it goes by a couple of different names. There's the Beta Brake Lights, or there's Gimme a Break. It is an organized effort to make sure that folks have working brake and directional lights. I'm going to let our guests tell you why. I have with me Brian and Kristen. I'll let them do a quick introduction. They are both members of DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, which has taken on this project in a number of its chapters in the Greater Bay Area. Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm a member of the Silicon Valley Democratic Socialists of America.
Brian.
Hi. I'm Brian. I'm the treasurer of the Peninsula Democratic Socialists of America.
Can you give a little history? What is the Brake Light Project? Can you give some background and the rationale?
So the idea grew from some members in the New Orleans DSA. There was a comrade there that was changing their brake lights after being stopped by police and realized how easy it was and how you could change these brake lights for folks and save them a lot of hassle and a lot of unnecessary interactions with the police. This is particularly important for undocumented immigrants and people of color, which, as we've seen from current events, interacting with the police is dangerous. And if it's not, even just the hassle of going to court and contesting these tickets is time that people don't have. And time is precious to these people. If you're working 2 jobs or more, you don't have time to go to court and contest this. So it's really unfair to put this kind of burden on these people whose only crime, if you could even call it that, is to have a tail light out.
So it starts in New Orleans, and how has it spread? Is there a national brake light network, or how do people decide to take this up?
After New Orleans, the brake light idea spread because it's just such a simple sort of event that any chapter can pick up and run. And because DSA relies so heavily on grassroots organizing, I wouldn't say that there's a national campaign for it other than it's just really popular. It's a great idea. People saw it. They wanted to do it. So we've had folks in Texas pick it up and do it, and in LA. And now in the Bay, we've had the East Bay chapter was the first one around here to do their brake light clinic. Then there was one in San Jose that was hosted by the Silicon Valley DSA. And now further up on the peninsula, it's SF and Peninsula's turn, as well as Silicon Valley, to host our brake light clinic.
I just want to talk about how important it is for the Democratic Socialists to get out in the community in really practical ways, in really concrete ways, because when you talk to people about democratic socialism, they say, "Oh, this is pie in the sky. You're just dealing with something theoretical." And I think people want to be a part of something that they see having an immediate impact in their own local neighborhoods.
And what kind of response have you gotten?
We've gotten a great response for the brake light clinic. We've actually had members come to our meetings specifically because they hear about this brake light event and want to be involved. This is such a simple idea, and it helps so many folks. And it gets people excited because who likes to be pulled over because their taillight is out? Like, that's never a fun sort of encounter to have. So to be able to go somewhere and get it replaced is a great idea. And then also to be able to go out and help the community in this way is also really rewarding and a great way for you to get involved.
And what about the community?
The community response to the brake light events have been fantastic. I mean, it's a way for DSA to show interest in the community and also bring them in and show that they're addressing concerns that they have. This is not only a police brutality issue, but also an economic one. A car is how someone gets to work. And if you're going to get fired because you're late because you're pulled over, that's going to affect your ability to provide for your family, provide for yourself. And it's an economic issue that is important for the Democratic Socialists.
How do you run a brake light clinic? How does this work?
So the brake light clinics are organized by local chapters in the Bay Area. We get together and we have a preliminary meeting where we train our members how to change these brake lights. I myself am excited to go to one of these training sessions, and they have a mechanic there. They show us how to change it. I've been told it's as simple as changing a light bulb. And so we have them demonstrate how this works. And then the next weekend we go out, we flyer for the event, we put up signs, we do events like this where we can tell the community that this is going on. They show up, whatever the case is, we will figure out what's wrong with their brake lights, help them if we can. Usually it's just a burnt out bulb that we can fix easy. We'll provide the bulbs for free. Doesn't cost anything to the people showing up. All they got to give us is a few minutes to fix this brake light for them, and then they're good to go.
I have a couple more questions on that myself. Is it just the brake lights? There are directional lights, there are parking lights, there are headlamps. How far are you able to go with helping people with repairs?
Well, so we specifically will get brake lights for free that we have that we can replace. But we've had situations where we'll diagnose an issue where some lights are out and it turns out like the wires are corroded. And even if we can't fix it, we can at least point them in the right direction. You know, even showing up to the auto shop with exactly what you need fixed is a great boon to people. That'll save them time and help them get their problem fixed faster.
So the chapter itself passes the hat to have the money for bulbs and fuses.
There's a Brake Light Coalition of the Bay Area. They rely on good old-fashioned fundraising from our members and from other interested parties to get them funds for these brake lights. And then we share the expertise. If we know, like, mechanics, we'll have them show up and do the training. So it's all grassroots organizing and fundraising.
Give me some stories about running these clinics. What goes on during the day?
So I can talk about a personal story of someone that I know. I haven't attended a brake light clinic. I look forward to attending the upcoming brake light clinic on May 19th. Part of the impetus behind this Redwood City clinic is actually a friend of mine and a member of the DSA who is a DACA college student, an undocumented immigrant, who had his brake light out, and I didn't know that was what was going on, but he started asking for rides to events a little while ago. And we asked him, why do you need a ride? Is your car broke down? Is something wrong with your car? And he said, no, it's just that my brake light is out, and I haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. And recognizing that driving a car without a brake light for someone who is an undocumented immigrant is a huge risk, because even if you are pulled over for the brake light, it's that encounter with law enforcement that provokes fear. And in this climate that we're in, where we've seen increases in deportations and detentions of immigrants in our community, even students who have DACA ostensibly protecting them from deportation. This is a risk that our friend was not willing to take. And so he did not drive his car for 2 or 3 weeks until he was able to find the time and the money to get the brake light replaced. And he's one of the leaders organizing this brake light clinic in Redwood City, where he lives. And I think a lot of that is related to his personal experience and wanting to prevent other people from being in that situation.
Excellent. Brian, do you want to add a story or two?
I would say the clinics themselves are a great way for DSA to go out and meet the community. You know, we have opportunities for people to sign up for future events like this, as well as other kind of mutual aid projects that DSA will be running. And I think it's that sort of creation of solidarity in the community and a way for folks to show up and help in their community that's so important, and also give them an opportunity to, I believe we'll also be having like voter registration there as well. So we'll be able to help the community. You know, we'll have snacks for the kids. It's also a family-friendly event too. So this isn't just for, you know, the commuting population. This is also for the stay-at-home parent that needs to go on a grocery run but can't anymore because their brake light is out. This is a way for them to get their brake lights fixed and give them some mobility back into their life. This whole brake light initiative has only been going on since August of 2017. The earliest one was run by the DSA members in New Orleans, and they kind of through social media shared this event, and it spread like wildfire, as things do on social media. But at least, you know, this was a good one. This was something that people saw and were inspired by and wanted to recreate. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about DSA, is because it's grassroots organizing. So it's a way for the community to see DSA helping them and to find an avenue for them to join. Because I think that's the other thing, where people want to join DSA, but they don't know what we do, and they don't know how they can help. And this is a great opportunity for them to see us in action.
And I kind of hate to call it this, but in a way, this is sort of like an instant gratification activism, because you're having an immediate impact. And in the world that we're in, a lot of people are looking for opportunities to get involved with something, but they often feel overwhelmed that the problems that we're facing are insurmountable, and we feel powerless. And the brake light is something that you can fix for dozens of people in just a few hours on a Saturday, and you're making a big difference in your community. It really is a justice issue, because we know that people are pulled over for their brake lights being out. This is very common. I've had brake lights out, and I've been pulled over for having a brake light out. However, I am not a person of color, and I haven't had that same experience that could be fearful in the encounter with law enforcement about a brake light. But I think that it is a social justice issue to recognize that interactions with law enforcement in people's vehicles for things that seem minor can escalate quickly or simply just provoke tremendous fear.
I want to make sure, because I know this is what everyone's waiting for, that you give us the next brake light clinic that's coming up, date, time, location, and how to find you.
On May 19th, we'll be at the First Church of Redwood City. This is at the intersection of Woodside Road and Broadway in Redwood City. It's just off the 101 highway, the Woodside Road exit. We will be in the parking lot at this very busy intersection behind the Smart & Final grocery store, being hosted by the First Church of Redwood City.
So, folks, if you'd just like to go by and check out your friendly local DSA chapter members, just drive on in to say hello, to express your support, and have them check all your lights all the way around the car. Make sure you're in complete compliance as well. If someone wants to get involved or find out more information about Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, can they just stop by?
If you're in the neighborhood, you can stop by. We'll have tabling out there with tons of literature and information. You can also just talk to our members.
So the website for the Silicon Valley DSA is southbaydsa.org.
Thank you both. We're going to take a quick musical break.